Hi everybody, welcome to today's video, the second in our Job Seeker series. My name is Samantha McCarthy and I work with Clare Local Development Company on the Social Inclusion and Community Activation Programme, which is also known as SICAP. Today's video is going to review the contents of your CV. We will look at ways of tailoring your CV to match different roles that you might be applying for. And today's video is also going to look at how you would go about writing a CV if you don't have a lot of work experience. There are lots of other skills in your life that you can draw on when writing a CV. If at the end of the video you have any questions or you need further support in finalising your CV, please don't hesitate to contact us. All of our contact details will be on the last slide and we are more than happy to hear from you, and we will try our best to help in any way that we can.
Hello everyone and welcome to today's lesson, where we will firstly review the layout of a CV, talk about the importance of tailoring your CV, reviewing the job description and taking out the important requirements, give you examples of tailoring your CV, and lastly, applying for jobs without having all of the necessary experience. Very briefly, I want to remind you of the general layout of a CV. Your CV will always start with your contact details, followed by your personal profile. After that, you can detail your employment history and education. If you have any additional relevant trainings or qualifications, you can include them, in addition to your personal achievements, hobbies and interests. The last section will detail your references. You can decide to place your education before your employment history if it is more related to the job that you are applying for. In terms of the importance of tailoring your CV, you should not use the same CV for different jobs, very simply because no two jobs are the exact same. You must tailor your CV for each job that you apply for to match the requirements. But before you do this, you must make sure that you understand, firstly, what the employer is looking for, and secondly, what the job requires. To understand the particular requirements, you should examine the job description. If you do not have access to the job description or the job advertisement, you could ask the potential employer for a copy or the recruiter that you are working with. So what exactly are they looking for? Details you need to know include what education, qualifications or certificates are required, how many number of relevant years work experience is needed, what particular competencies are important, for example, teamwork or problem solving, and is there any specific experience detailed, such as experience working in clean room environments or experience working with Microsoft Office packages. Once these skills are identified, you need to draw attention to these experiences on your CV that match up with the requirements of the role. As an example, here is a sample job description for a production operator. I have highlighted the key experiences, skill sets and attitudes which are important for this role. In your CV, you should emphasize your duties, responsibilities and achievements from your past experiences that showcase the requirements highlighted. For example, quality checks are commonly referenced in this job description. Therefore, ideally, you should detail any experience you have with, for example, quality control or detection. Another example, you can also see that a minimum of 2 years experience in a manufacturing environment is a requirement. You should detail this in your personal profile so that it is obvious to the employer that you meet this requirement. When applying for a job, be sure to read the job advertisement or description carefully. Take note of the requirements needed, like the skills, competencies and experience. Now make sure that where you have experience to match the requirements, mention each of these on your CV. These examples can be from school, paid or unpaid work experience, or even voluntary work. Then include similar buzzwords from the job description in your CV. And while updating your CV for each job can be time consuming, it will improve your chances of being called for interview. As I've said, read through each sentence on the job advertisement and make sure you've covered the requirement in your CV. For example, if the job description mentions customer service, think about the times that you've dealt with customers and provided excellent customer service. For example, you could mention that you've helped customers choose the right product or service for their requirements, or delivered excellent customer experience while working within a fast-paced restaurant. If they specify a self-starter, think of when you motivated yourself to achieve something without being asked, or worked well on your own. For example, maybe you offered to contribute to the company's newsletter or created a new marketing plan for a product launch. If the job mentions a team player, point out the times that you've worked with other people to achieve a result or a goal. If you worked in a restaurant, for example, maybe you volunteered to take additional shifts, covered extra tables and stayed late to close. Or maybe you worked with 3 colleagues in a sustainability project to reduce waste. If the job requires a leader, you don't need to be a manager or have been in a senior job to show leadership skills, but you do need to show that you've given instructions, inspired people, or taught others something new. For example, that you trained 2 new store assistants into the department, or that you organised and led your colleagues up a mountain in the company charity walk. If you are applying for a job whereby you have little relevant experience, have a think about writing a cover letter. This could give you a chance to showcase your relevant skills and personality to succeed in the job. With that, think outside of the job itself and consider any achievements or skills gained from the likes of volunteering, charity work, work experience in school or college, internships and any extracurricular activities. Think of the skills gained across the different industries or activities. Potentially you were a captain of a soccer team. This would demonstrate your leadership capability. Maybe you completed a group project in college, thereby you're able to demonstrate your teamwork capabilities. Okay, so to recap, always make sure to tailor your CV for each job that you apply for. Remember to study the job description and take note of the requirements. The requirements could include the education, qualifications and certificates needed for the role, the experience required, and the specific competencies highlighted. Always include examples of your experience that match up with the job requirements, and don't forget about your transferable skills. The next session will focus on advice on developing your cover letter, so do tune in. As mentioned earlier, please visit the Clare Local Development Company's website at cldc.ie to find out more information on the SciCap programme and reach out to Samantha and her colleagues for further support using the contact details on screen.